President Sisi underscores the importance of securing goods, controlling prices, and organizing markets during Ramadan. Mediators secure agreement to release all Palestinian detainees delayed from last week. And Egypt's foreign ministry rejects proposals that bypass Egypt and Arab stance on Gaza's temporary administration. Good evening, you're watching Qnews, bringing you the latest updates from Egypt. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has underscored the importance of securing a steady supply of goods, controlling prices, and organizing markets to ease the burden on citizens during Ramadan. In a meeting with Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli and Finance Minister Ahmed Kushuk, the President reviewed Ramadan preparations, including strategic food reserves and social protection packages. These initiatives aim to support vulnerable families until June 2025. With salary and pension increases set to take effect in July. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has expressed his heartfelt wishes for a swift and full recovery of Pope Francis following his recent health setback. In a Facebook post, the Egyptian leader hoped for the Pope's safe return to his followers so as he may continue his mission of promoting love, peace, and tolerance among nations. This comes as Pope Francis remains in critical condition after suffering a prolonged asthmatic respiratory crisis linked to pneumonia and a complex lung infection. An Egyptian source confirmed that mediators have secured an agreement to release all Palestinian detainees, a process that was initially scheduled for last week. The release will take place alongside the return of the bodies of 4 Israeli detainees, with Egypt overseeing the entire process. The Egyptian Ministry of Foreign Affairs has firmly rejected any proposals that bypass Egypt and the Arab stance on Gaza's temporary administration. The ministry reiterated Egypt's unwavering position, calling for Israel's withdrawal from occupied Palestinian territories and the establishment of an independent Palestinian state. It warned that partial solutions would only prolong the conflict rather than achieve a lasting resolution. Egypt also stressed that Gaza, the West Bank, and East Jerusalem must be under full Palestinian sovereignty and administration. "249 aid trucks carrying medical and food supplies have entered Gaza from Egypt. Al Qahira News reported that among the trucks, 14 trucks were loaded with fuel. The aid convoy crossed into Gaza through the Karm Abu Salim and Al Auja border crossing, coinciding with the ceasefire and its implementation. Foreign Minister Badr Abdel-Ati has discussed Syria's stability, Lebanon's political development, and the necessity of combating terrorism in the region. This came during his meeting with the leader of Iraq's National Wisdom Movement, Ammar al-Hakim, where Abdel-Ati reaffirmed Egypt's support for Iraq's security and stability, highlighting the progress in bilateral relations. They discussed joint cooperation programs, Egypt, Jordan, Iraq trilateral cooperation, and ongoing efforts to ensure Gaza's ceasefire sustainability. Egyptian Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati has emphasized Egypt's efforts in Gaza's ceasefire stabilization and called for increased EU humanitarian aid. This came during his phone call with the High Representative of the European Union for Foreign Affairs, Kaya Kallas. Abdulati praised the growing Egypt-EU relations and highlighted the important role the High Representative plays in strengthening its partnership. Abdulati emphasized support for Egypt's recovery and reconstruction plans in Gaza. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has expressed hope that the upcoming Arab summit in Cairo will contribute in resolving the Gaza crisis. During a press conference after meeting with Qatar's Emir, Lavrov warned that the displacement of Palestinians would turn the region into a ticking time bomb and undermine the two-state solution. He also criticized Israel for violating agreements with Lebanon and Hamas and expressed concerns about European interference in Ukraine negotiations.
Соглашениями с Хамас и с Ливаном, и которые, в общем-то, создают факты на земле, противоречия.
Arab League Secretary General Ahmed Abul-Ghait has strongly condemned the recent Israeli airstrikes and attacks on Syrian territories, describing them as a reckless provocation. Abul-Ghait stated that these actions exploit Syria's political transition to establish illegal and unlawful realities. He emphasized that Israel's occupation of Syrian land violates international law and called on the international community to condemn this unprovoked aggression. The Arab League expressed solidarity with Syria in facing Israeli aggression. Egypt has marked the 50th anniversary of restoring diplomatic relations with Portugal, expressing deep appreciation for the strong ties between the two countries. In a statement, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs stated that Egyptian-Portuguese relations have seen significant progress over the past 5 decades across various sectors. It added that the two nations have worked closely in international forums to support peace, stability, and security at regional and global levels. Egypt reaffirmed its commitment to strengthening ties with Portugal, ensuring continued collaboration for mutual benefit. The Parliament has issued a formal request for information demanding immediate action to combat the growing problem of online fraud. Investigations revealed that a criminal network led by 3 foreign nationals residing in Egypt and connected to an international network was responsible for the fraud. The committee urged the government to expedite the submission of its draft law, as Parliament has been awaiting these amendments since 2019. The Ministry of Housing has announced a strong reception for the Your Home in Egypt initiative, with $2.5 million in reservation deposits received just 48 hours after online bookings opened for its first phase. Launched in December 2024, the initiative aims to give Egyptians living abroad the chance to buy residential units. The government aims to generate $500 million in revenue from the sale of 5,000 residential units through the initiative, which is part of its broader strategy to generate $2 billion in revenue from its real estate export platform this year. Egypt is set to make history with the Grand Egyptian Museum, GEM, opening on July 3, 2025. Approved by President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, this landmark museum will showcase Egypt's rich ancient history in an unprecedented way.
Approved by Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi and announced by Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli, Egypt is set to make history with the official opening of the Grand Egyptian Museum, GEM, on July 3, 2025. A world-class ceremony is planned, with government ministries ensuring seamless logistics at airports, hotels, and roads leading to the venue, ensuring a seamless experience for distinguished guests. Hailed as Egypt's gift to the world, the Gem is set to become the world's largest museum dedicated to a single civilization, ancient Egypt, covering 500,000 square meters and including 12 exhibition halls. It is twice the size of the Louvre in Paris and 2.5 times larger than the British Museum in London. The museum sits just 2 kilometers from the Giza pyramids, offering visitors breathtaking views of Egypt's most iconic landmarks. For the first time since its discovery in 1922, the entire treasure collection of King Tutankhamun will be displayed in one place, making it a historic cultural milestone. Since late 2022, the museum has hosted exclusive events and private group visits, allowing officials to fine-tune the visitor experience before full public access. In recognition of its architectural excellence, UNESCO awarded the Gem the prestigious Prix Versailles in 2024, cementing its status as one of the most beautiful museums in the world. With its grand opening just months away, Egypt is set to introduce the world to a new era of cultural and historical preservation.
Cairo International Dates Festival has launched its 5th edition, completing previous achievements across the past 4 years. A wide array of dates and date products were showcased at a date festival held in Cairo in the days leading up to the Muslim fasting month of Ramadan. The festival featured a diverse selection of date-based products, including date spread and syrup. Exhibitors from across Egypt participated in the multi-day exhibition, bringing a variety of locally grown dates. The event also featured products from neighboring countries, including Libya and Sudan. The Central Bank of Egypt, or CBE, has announced a major achievement in the country's financial inclusion efforts, with 74.8% of the Egyptians aged 15 and above now actively using financial accounts. This 74.8% inclusion rate represents a notable improvement from 2023, when the rate was 70.7%. The increase demonstrates a 204% rise in financial inclusion between 2016 and 2024, despite a growing number of eligible citizens. Financial inclusion among women has seen a pronounced increase, with 23.3 million women now holding active accounts by the end of 2024. Minister of Planning and Economic Development and International Cooperation, Ranil Mashat, has participated in a high-level workshop on national platforms for experience sharing between countries and financing for development. Mashat emphasized the growing global recognition of national platforms in mobilizing climate finance and enhancing partnerships. She also highlighted the role of multilateral development banks in supporting climate efforts and Egypt's NOV platform, which integrates water, food and energy sectors. The platform has secured $3.9 billion of renewable energy, advancing Egypt's target of 42% renewable electricity by 2030. Al-Mashat also stressed reforming financial structures to ensure sustainable development in emerging economies. Minister of Industry and Transport Kamil Wazir and the Minister of Planning and Economic Development and International Cooperation, Ranil Mashat, have discussed the transportation sector's investment plan for the fiscal year 2025-2026. The meeting focused on aligning the plan with Egypt's Vision 2030 and the 2030 Transport System Development Strategy. They also reviewed progress on Alexandria's Abu Qir Metro project, funded by development partners. Al-Mashat emphasized integrating structural reforms and private sector engagement to drive economic growth. The General Authority for Investment and Free Zones, GAFI, has hosted the first Egyptian-Zambian Business Forum. GAFI Chairman Hossam Hiba added that the government had been encouraging Egyptian business community to invest in Zambia and the African continent in general, in a bid to create supply chains connecting raw materials with markets, leveraging the fact that Egypt is the largest recipient of investment on the continent. The two sides agreed on transferring Egyptian experience on digital transformation and the unified license to the Zambian government. That brings us to the end of our news bulletin. Here's what we've been covering. President Sisi underscores the importance of securing goods, controlling prices, and organizing markets during Ramadan. Mediators secure agreement to release all Palestinian detainees delayed from last week. Egypt's foreign ministry rejects proposals that bypass Egypt and Arab stance on Gaza's temporary administration. That's all for now. Remember to stay updated by following Qnews for the latest developments.